Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of One Vision, the FinTech Fuse. This is Theo, your host for today's episode. Joining us in the recording studio today is Charles Oligbo, founder and CEO of Sawport. Welcome to the show, Charles.
Thank you very much, Theo. Thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I'd say thank you, Kristen, for bringing us together in one of the meetups for Cafe. So, for our listeners who might not be familiar with what you do and what you do with Cafe, can you tell us a little bit more about Sawport and what inspired you to start the company?
Sure, I can tell you more about Sawport. So basically, just a high level, I'm the founder and CEO of Sawport. We have created a virtual branch to enable financial institutions deliver branch-like experiences to their customers living anywhere, anytime. So basically, before I embarked on this journey, I had my own frustration with my bank. For instance, I have CDs, and whenever my CD matures, I have to drive down to the bank, which is about 30 minutes, the closest branch, just for me to sign a document and present my ID. So I started thinking, as to myself, I was like, why do I need to just drive all the way down there just to sign a document and present an ID? There has to be a better way to go about that. So I got together with my team and we decided to build a virtual branch basically that has a lot of features such as a video for video call, facial recognition for that to be able to match with the digital ID the bank has to verify myself without having to go to the bank. Also, we have other features such as the document forensics, which we will use to verify documents, to authenticity of this document, make sure they are not fraudulent documents, and many more. You know, you can schedule out appointments. We have the records and things of that nature. You can use our solution. So, Cafe selected me to be part of the cohort, cohort four. We're six of us that were selected, and so that's why I'm part of the support. Support is part of Cafe accelerator program for the fall.
That's so great to hear. Now, I do want to ask you, your solution is all about virtual branch and to your point, so that people don't have to drive to a bank branch, which in a lot of ways solve an important problem, especially in this country when a lot of the towns see the number of bank branches closing out, right? So there's less and less physical access for people. But video banking is not completely new per se. It's been around for a little while. What makes your approach different than what we call traditional video banking solutions? And why is it important for your target market, which I should back up? What is your target market?
Oh, first of all, my target market is pretty much financial institutions, right? When I say financial institution, I'm talking about the commercial banks, the community banks, credit unions, insurance, fintech trust funds, neobanks. So any organization that fall under the umbrella of pretty much a financial institution, those are my target markets. And we are not just only targeting the American market. Our solution was built to be able to target the global financial institution market, not just the American market. So you're right. There are other video banking solutions out there. What differentiates us from the rest is the other video banking solution, like I said earlier, we are built for the American banking industry. The world is becoming global. Wherever I go, I see Americans everywhere. So therefore they're using different banking services everywhere. So why just limit it just to the American market when you can expand it to other industries? Because most of the financial institutions operate similar way, about 70%. Maybe the other 30% comes different, right? So when we are building this, we're going with the feedback. So our solution, how our standard is, we are not only working with banks at the moment in America, we're also working with banks overseas. And we are also working with some of the government agencies as well, which is the central banks, right? Because we have some countries whose central banks currently have their CBDC, which is the digital currency. We are working on with them to integrate it into our solution so that when they roll out the solution on the pilot phase, they can be able to accept payments without having to, no physical cash, just a digital currency. As well as there are some government agencies, some organizations, some countries such as Vietnam, UK, even Rwanda, they have their online ID, digital IDs now. So we are working with them to integrate that in our system. So when you want to do your facial recognition, they simply just talk to their database, verify the customer, and you can move forward. Also, our solution is pretty affordable compared to the rest. I know my competitors very well. I've been in the banking space for a long time, working with Alchemy and Bank Joy. So I was able to learn a lot about the banking industry, my competitors, the pain points. And so while we're building this, we make sure our user experience is key. We replicate the physical experience you will get when you walk into the branch. When you walk into the branch, you want to talk to someone, you have to present your ID, then they take it to the right person, they provide the services. Similar way, you get on your online and mobile banking platform, you log in, you see the widget of our virtual branch, you initiate the chat or get upgraded to a video call. But before you get upgraded to a video call, you have to verify yourself through the facial recognition, making sure you are who you say you are before it then present you over to the agent who's going to help you out. So that's some of the features we have. And one key feature that differentiates us from the rest is our document forensic solution. Most video banking solutions don't have that. Basically, what this is about is the economic climate has made a lot of people put a lot of people in a tough time. So business banking, you're going to see a lot of people applying for loans. Now, how do you verify with the naked eyes if this documents like the income statement, bank statement is legit? So when you use our document forensic solution, you can analyze this document and tell if this document has been tampered with or is the original document. And from there, that can help you with the pre-approval process, as well as reduce the charge-offs because you don't want to be issuing bad loans out there, and that's the fastest way your business or your bank can go out of business.
You brought up a good point. We do start to see a lot of deepfake videos, audio, and text, right? So this is, I would believe, will become a more and more important feature as our lives become more digital and
Correct.
behind the screen.
And you know what is funny, right? Like you said, a lot of banks will have to close down branches. We understand the baby boomers have the most money. They believe in the traditional branch as well. But now they're getting old, either in the sick bed, they're aging, they cannot walk to the branch or drive to the branch and stand in line. Why don't we just take the branch and put it right at their fingertip where they can do everything without having to step out of their house? So that's how I look at it, right? And they're also prone to fraud. So we also want to make sure, the fake, they don't fall victim to fraud. So we put that into consideration when we're building the solution as well.
So with that being said, I want to ask you, what are some of the feature capabilities that you've put in that have become really critical for people to adopt? Or are there anything that surprised you that you thought, oh, this is going to be really important, but it turns out to be not as interesting to your target market as you thought?
Sure, yeah. The big one, I'll say this, a lot of people might not like this, the chatbots, right? Everyone has been talking about chatbot, generative AI, and all that. But when I speak to bank executives, and I even went to a college to speak to the students, I asked them how many people have used their bank's chatbot. Wasn't a lot of hands raised up.
I
And
don't.
if I ask you right now, have you used the bank's chatbot before?
I don't. Yeah, I will be the first one to say, even when you call in, right? Like, da, 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 I'm like, no, 0, 0. I want to talk to a human. And never mind chatting online. No, I don't like that either. I don't know why.
So as much as they've been pushing chatbot, you think is a big thing. But some banks I spoke to, the adoption rate is pretty below 5%. It's pretty low, right? Basically, what you can do with a chatbot answers simple questions. And when you log into your online or mobile banking platform, you can already get access to those questions you want to ask before you get to the chatbot. You can even use ChatGPT to ask, what is my routing number? Or what is the hours of operation of this bank? And you get the information of it. So, but what we did is instead of focusing on chatbots, we built a virtual branch because we still want to have that human touch in banking, right? We just don't want to replace human completely. We want to have that human touch because when the customers open up a bank or they open up their bank account, they didn't talk to a chatbot. They spoke to somebody, a real person. They know they're giving it to somebody, and so they want to talk to a real person whenever they want to, engage their bank. So chatbot is something that hasn't been great. But one thing that we built that has been great so far, positive response, is a document forensic solution I talked about. Fraud is that's the biggest challenge, biggest pain point for financial institution. And if I want to apply for a loan right now, I ask a lot of banks, how do you know if this document is authentic? Because I can get a PDF and edit it and make it seem like, oh, this is my bank statement, and you wouldn't know. They said basically they go through a couple of processes other than they don't utilize AI to be able to analyze the document. So utilizing AI now, it can help you pre-approve someone in real time on the video call before then they go into the next step in the loan approval process. So that's something that's been picking up so far. That's why we actually used to be a video banking, but we moved to a video banking with virtual branch because it's bigger than just video. So basically, we replicated the physical branch and made it a virtual branch.
I'm so glad you didn't say metaverse banking though. Just a joke. But I I recently I saw an interesting technology that's similar to what you were saying is looking at the document and trying to analyze if it has been tampered with,
Correct.
and how real it is. And I saw that alongside with they had a parallel solution for defect detection
Correct.
to see, if you can tell which one is a defect image and which one is not. And it's absolutely fascinating. Is they picked up on things that I didn't think to look for. So it's a ever learning, evolving situation, I suppose. How where do you operate again? So beyond the U.S., you're in what countries?
So right now, let's say beyond US, we're also in Rwanda, we're in Nigeria, and also we're working with a bank in UK at the moment, right? So we try to expand as much as we can because this is a global issue. The current economic climate is not just America, and so we built a solution that can address a lot of this issue for financial institutions in different countries. So since we started, we've made a lot of progress expanding to these countries. And sometimes they reach out to us and say they want to see what we have, they want to be a part of the pilot or sandbox testing, and those are the things that we've been getting lately.
What's the biggest challenge that you see amongst all of the different rollouts that you have?
The biggest? Oh, the biggest I see right now, to be honest with you, this solution we are building is still new, right? A lot of people are focusing on stable coins and other things, blockchains. But what we're building is pretty new, and sometimes it requires some explanation for people to understand what you're actually trying to build. Then the baby boomers who are now digital natives, some of them also have to be trained to know how to use this solution, right? Unlike the digital native, like millennial and Gen Z, you put it in front of them, they know what it is, they know how to use it. It's pretty simple, and that's basically as we see change going. The baby boomers transferring their wealth to the digital native. We expect to see the digital native, which is the millennial and Gen Z, using the solution more. So our challenges is just some people are not tech savvy, but over time we expect when the adoption keep increasing, they're going to be tech savvy. Just like let me give an example. Like when you saw IG for the first time, you didn't require no training to use it, right? But you just kept using it, then now you learn how to use it. So we simplify our solution for people to know how to use it rather than making it complex and things like that. Yeah.
That makes sense. Crystal ball moment. How do you see Sawport's role evolve in the next few years?
Oh, let me just give you what is happening on our roadmap for next year,
Okay.
right? For instance, language translation. I said earlier, the
Ah,
world is becoming
big
global.
one.
Correct. The world is becoming global. For instance, what we're trying to add now is the language translation 2026 in our roadmap. Where I can be speaking to you in any language, maybe French, and you're going to be hearing that in English, right? And you speak to me in English, I hear that back in French. So like I said, when the world is coming global, we have languages, different languages crossing paths now. How can we provide services to people who can't speak the language that we can speak as an agent? So that's one feature we're looking at, right, to help improve our support virtual brand. And then the more we learn about the pain points of some of these banks, the more we build around the pain point to improve our solution, right? To make sure that our solution can also integrate with other solutions the bank is currently using. Say, for instance, if you already have an existing online digital ID verification, you don't have to use ours. All you need to do is integrate it into our solution because we are also enabler. So what we're looking at in the future is making sure we are enabler, integrate as many solutions into our platform, as well as providing the services to people who does not have the existing solution already. So we want to make sure that we centralize all the software the banks are using into our solution. That's the ultimate goal.
That I love that. Um, if there's one thing you would like to change in the world, what would that be?
I'll tell you the truth right now. I'm
If you
seeing
have
a
the
lot,
superpower.
I'm seeing a lot of layoffs right now. And if you ask why they lay off, they say because of AI. right? I don't think you adopting AI should lead to laying people off. In fact, I think we should start looking at AI as how can we give employees back some time to spend with their family? Why do they have to work 5 hours a week when you already have AI doing some of the jobs? They can work 3 hours a week, spend some time with the family, have more vacation time, have more sick time, right? So, as much as we improving efficiency within the organization and also increasing revenue year over year, why are you laying people off, right? So now, if you're laying these people off and you keep adopting the AI, who's going to pay for your services when you lay everybody off in 2030, right? So I think what we should do now is, adopt AI within organization and instead learn. Let's start helping the employee, give them back their time, working 3 hours a week, working less hour a day, having time to spend with their family because those are key. Worrying, their health is another thing too. So I think that's something I will change how we utilize AI, not just laying people off. That will not work to me in the long term because people are going through it at the moment, losing their properties and things like that.
I can't agree more. And I do feel like sometimes I think organizations use that as a excuse, right? To trim their workforce. Because everyone is doing it, they can fly under the radar and it becomes less noticeable and people don't call them out. I do wonder because we keep seeing reports after reports and organizations keep coming back and say, well, they don't quite see exactly the quote unquote ROI when it comes to efficiency improvement when they deploy AI tool. And with that, I'll be like, okay, then why are you laying off 10,000 people or you exited 10,000 people? That just become a very convenient excuse. I think there's got to be more that we can use technology for to create value for not just shareholders, but also for the wider society. So that I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, where can we find out more about Sawport and what you do?
So currently we have our website, which is www.sawport.com. When you get on the website, you can get as many information as you want. And also you can request a demo. We'll be glad to do demo for any financial institution. And we also have a sandbox. So after the demo, if you want to get in our sandbox just to play around, so we have, it's free all the way to December. You can play around just to learn about the solution. It's one thing to demo it for you. It's one thing for you to come in and play around and understand the solution better. So you can catch us on LinkedIn as well. We're on LinkedIn. Charles Oligbo, you can find me on LinkedIn. Just feel free to reach out via email as well, info@sawport.com.
Thank you so much, Charles.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I like this interview. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. And for the rest of our listeners, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of One Vision, FinTech Fuse. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you very much.